Dr. King was a life-changing experience for me. The thing about Martin Luther King is that he believed in nonviolence. Don't adopt violence if violence is one of the things you're trying to get rid of. And so that was one of the things that stuck with me about even in the face of obstacles, to remain calm, remain nonviolent, and to go on. I came to a church where Dr. King was speaking, and one of the things they did, they had a reception for Dr. King, and I had a chance to shake his hand. Very brief, as people marched into the church. As he spoke that day, it made me feel, that I had to do something. He was, to me, I've often said he was almost like the Pied Piper. Just the music was so melodic, his speech pattern was so impactful to you. So it made you want to get up and follow and do something. People were really deeply worried about this country, and so worried that they would give up their life, put them in a dangerous situation. And that always stayed with me as I went on and became a teacher and that kind of thing. My mother, who was a real central figure in my life. My mother was the calmest person that you could ever want to meet, and the most loving person that you could ever find. And all of the things that she had gone through, and remained a very kind and considerate person. And I think I kind of get a lot of the things from her. My sixth grade teacher, who was an outstanding teacher, and probably the reason that I went into education. The thing I remember most about him, he was president. He came to weddings, he came to funerals. He had this kind of outstanding presence, and I said, I'd like to be like that. First teaching job began in Chicago. That's my hometown. I taught ninth grade social studies and language arts. The school I went to in suburban St. Louis resisted integrating. They really didn't want it. It was a high functioning school, a lot of kids, a lot of AP students, So I studied what was going on. I said, well, I'm really prepared to be a principal. I said, but I didn't feel that it was going to happen there. Applied here to Ann Arbor. I had applied to Ann Arbor. The interesting thing, I had applied there 20 years ago before I got to town. And second time, I applied for community high school. And so I came in, interviewed at community, didn't know they already had a person picked out. Went through the interview. The assistant superintendent thought that I was a good fit for Huron. I came in and got the job. Became principal in 1995. I was there for 19 years. Huron was a home for me. I always think about the phrase that, students don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. And developing that sense of connectedness with students is one of the things that I always was trying to achieve. So one of the things that I established there was during the morning announcements, I'd always come on with words of wisdom. Into that words of wisdom, I'd always say, make it a great day, or not. The choice is yours. Learn as much as you can about people. Education and teaching is a people business. I learned about Ramadan. I went to dinners with with families from Islamic backgrounds, you know. I went to, you know, bar mitzvahs, you know. I mean, I learned a lot about students. Many times in the schools of education, there's a great emphasis on the subject matter, and not a lot of information about the people matter, about who the students are and who the families are.